जय जय राम कथा, जय श्री राम कथा, जय जय राम कथा,
जय श्री राम कथा।
इसे जय जय राम कथा, जय श्री राम कथा, जय जय राम कथा,
जय श्री राम कथा।
जय जय राम कथा, जय श्री राम कथा,
जय जय राम कथा, जय श्री राम कथा।
राम कथा कलि कामद गाई, सुजन सजीवन मूरि सुहाई। राम कथा कलि कामद गाई, सुजन सजीवन मूरि सुहाई। बुद्धि विश्राम सकल जन रंजन, राम कथा कलि कलुष विभंजन। बुद्धि विश्राम सकल
राम कथा कलि कलुष विभंजन।
तेरा परमार्थ बन जाए, तेरा परमार्थ बन जाए, तेरा परमार्थ बन जाए। श्री नारद जी जय जथा, ओ जय जय राम कथा, जय श्री राम कथा,
जय जय राम कथा, जय श्री राम कथा,
ओ जय जय राम कथा, जय श्री राम कथा, जय जय राम कथा,
जय श्री राम कथा।
राम कथा कलि कामद गाई, सुजन सजीवन मूरि सुहाई। राम कथा कलि
कामद गाई, सुजन सजीवन मूल सुहाई।
बुद्ध विश्राम सकल जन रंजन, राम कथा कलि कलुष विभंजन।
बुद्धि विश्राम सकल जन रंजन, राम कथा कलि कलुष विभंजन।
राम कथा कलि कामद गाई, सुजन सजीवन मूरि सुहाई।
राम कथा कलि कामद गाई, सुजन सजीवन मूल सुहाई।
बुद्ध विश्राम सकल जन रंजन, कथा कलि कलुष विभंजन।
बुद्धि विश्राम सकल जन रंजन, राम कथा कलि कलुष विभंजन।
तेरा परमार्थ बन जाए, तेरा परमार्थ बन जाए, तेरा परमार्थ बन जाए। श्री नारद कथा, हो जय जय राम कथा, श्री राम कथा,
जय जय राम कथा, जय श्री राम कथा,
राम कथा,
जय श्री राम कथा, जय जय राम कथा, जय श्री राम कथा,
जय जय राम कथा,
जय श्री राम कथा।
You'll get it soon. Okay. Now, let us see today's. Let us all join in doing salutations to Lord Ganesh, Mother Saraswati, to our Guru, and to Bhagavan Ram. Gajananam Bhutagananissevitam Kapitjambu Phalasarbhakshanam Umasutam Shokvinashkaranam Namami Vigneshwara या कुन्देन्दुतुषारहार धवला या शुभ्र वस्त्रावृता या वीणा वरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेत पद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेष जाड्यापहा गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः लोकाभिरामं रणरङ्गधीरम् राजीवनेत्रं रघुवंशनाथं लोकाभिरामं रणरङ्गधीरं राजीवनेत्रं रघुवंशनाथं कारुण्यरूपं करुणाकरं तं श्रीरामचन्द्रं शरणं प्रपद्ये कारुण्यरूपं करुणाकरं तं श्रीरामचन्द्रं शरणं प्रपद्ये राम कथा के तेई अधिकारी जिनके सत्संग गति अति प्यारी श्री राम जय जय राम राम कथा के तेई अधिकारी जिनके सत्संगति अति प्यारी श्री राम जय राम कथा के तेई अधिकारी जिनके सत्संगति अति प्यारी श्री राम जय राम बिनु सत्संग विवेक न होई, राम कृपा सुलभ न सोई। श्री राम जय मंगल भवन मंगल हारी, प्रभु सदशरथ अजीर बिहारी। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम,
श्री राम जय राम जय जय
राम बोलो राम 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 सीता राम राम राम। राम 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 सीता राम राम राम। राम 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 सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। Okay, if you are all joining us tonight for the first time, we are seeing the Shiva Sati Prasanga in the Balkand. And I told you this Sati story in the beginning of this Balkand, and the Kakabhushundi story in the Uttarkand, the last Kand, first and last. These two stories you have to study properly because they relate directly to our life. And they are great stories about evolution of the Jiva from a state of ignorance to a state of enlightenment. And what is significant in both these stories is any evolution, any progress, any advancement in the spiritual path doesn't come that easy. Even if a person, let us say you take the path of meditation, so you leave everything and you sit there and you meditate, that is not an easy thing. That is the time you will realize how stubborn and see, Bhagavan Shri Krishna describes, Arjuna describes to Bhagavan Shri Krishna the mind. Pramati balavadridam. He tells to Krishna, this mind is churning all the time. Strong, stubborn. And dhridam means firm, whatever it wants to do. That's why when you sit for meditation, then you know it goes here, goes there, never stays where you are. So it doesn't matter which path we take, but you know that from ordinary life, right? Anything that is good for the jiva, that brings pain to him, correct or not? You see, little children, when you hold them and you go to give them a bath, then what happens? They cry, na? But the bath is good for him. But he doesn't know that. He doesn't want to go there. Or when you have to give him a needle. But little children, big children too, big people. It's good, it's going to get you well, but it is painful, we don't want. So everything in life is like that. So the same for the spiritual path. Now you see this Sati story here, and then the Kakabhushundi story will come to at the end of this whole thing. It's a string of one trouble after the next. So we've been seeing this in the last few days. Sati dropped that body in Yoga Agni. Yoga Agni, she dropped that body and then born as Parvati, Uma, in the house of Himavan. There, Naradji comes and tells, do tapas, you'll get to marry Lord Shiva. And all the durgunas which are there in your bhavi. When we are born, all the things which we'll meet in life, they're already there. Narad read, she'll have a husband who is Nanga Baba, who is Jogi, Jatil, this, that, homeless, no clothes, no shoes. And when this Dulahin goes in the house, he have nothing, where she go get? So, Narad told, there is somebody who has all of these amangala signs. That is Lord Shiva. If you get to marry him, all of these things will turn out to be positive things. People praise Lord Shiva for wearing that ashes from the cremation site. So, Parvati ji goes now, advised by mother and father, advised by Narad, who tells mother and father, tell her to go and do tapas. Long years of tapas. Tulsidas ji describes that. Samvata sahasa moola phala khaye. 1,000 years she only ate moola phala, roots and fruits. Sagu khai, sata barsha. For 100 years she only ate leaves. Bhaji. Raw bhaji. 100 years. Kachudin bhojana bari batasa. And for some time, only water and sugar. Sugar water. As we say. Bel pati mahi parai sukhai. And after that, only dry leaf that fell from the bel tree. That's all she ate. The Parvati. Then, Tini sahasra samvat soi khai. For 3,000 years. For 3,000 years, she ate that dry bale leaf. Then, Puni pahire sukhaneu parana umahina matava bhayau aparana. Then, she gave up eating the dry leaf also. Eat nothing. So, Siri tapas, ghor tapas it is called. Terrific, terrible tapas. And she gave up that leaf, so she's called Aparana. Aparana means leaf. So one of her name is Aparana. Aparana is a very common name in India. I don't know in Trinidad if you know anybody named Aparana. But this is one of Uma's name. When she gave up the leaf also. Aparna. Dekhi umahitapa. Khina sarira. Brahmagira ve gagana samira. Then after all of this tapas, Brahmaji, through the Akashvani, the voice from space, Brahmaji now thundered from the space. This is now number 64. This is where we'll start today. '74. भयउ मनोरथ सुफल तव सुनु गिरिराज कुमारी राम सुनु गिरिराज कुमारी परिहरु दुसह कलेश सब अब मिली हई त्रिपुरारी सिया पर रामचंद्र की जय शरणम पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय सियावर रामचंद्र की जय शरणम. Bhayau manorat suphalat tava. Now your wish will be fulfilled, Brahmaji said loudly to her. Sunu Giriraj Kumari, listen, oh Parvati. Giriraj Kumari means the daughter of Giriraj, king of the mountain, Himavan. Many names are there for him. Pariharu dusaha kalesa sabai. Drop all of this torment which you have gone through. This terrific tapas which you have been doing. Tapas word. Satapas taptva. Satapotapyata. Idagam sarvam astrijata. Bhagwan manifested this universe by tapas. Tapas achieves anything. Anybody who can undergo tapas will achieve anything in this world. And tapas has its own various forms and all. See what type of tapas she did. And each one can carve out his own tapas. Eat dry leaf, then eat no leaf. Well, don't eat. Aba milihahi Tripurari. You will surely get to marry this Tripurari, Lord Shiva. This was the voice from the space. Asatapu kahuna kina bhavani bhay aneka dhira muni gyani. Brahmaji also added after telling. Now he granted the boon. And granted the boon means he said what will happen actually. It's not a boon really. Because of the tapas, she will certainly get to marry this Lord Shiva. But Brahmaji can tell the future. Trikaladarshi is called one who can see past, present and future. So he can tell that she will surely marry. And then he comments, such tapas, so many Rishi, Muni, Jnani, everybody have done. And such tapas nobody has done. Ava ura tharahu brahma barabani satya sada santata suchi jani. Just now hold it in your heart that certainly you will get to marry this Lord Shiva. Now, what about Lord Shiva now? Remember, she had gone to Daksha's, Sati had gone to Daksha's Yajna, and there she dropped that body in Yoga Agni. And Lord Shiva sent Veerabhadra. That was the last we heard of him only. After that, he did not feature in the story. Now, just before 75, Tulsidas it is. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Ram
Jaya Jaya Rama
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama
Jab te sati jai tanu tyaga
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama
tab te seva man bhaya ubiraga
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama
japai sada raghu nayak nama
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama
jahan tah sunai Ram gun grama
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama
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 Syamar Ramachandra ki jai.
Jai.
Jabate sati jai tanu tyaga. Since the time Sati dropped that body, what Lord Shiva did then? Now, back to that story. He sent Veerabhadra, but then that was the end. Tabate Sevamana Bhayau Viraga. That time he detached himself from all things in the world. I had one wife too, and she gone well. He had no plan to remarry. So then what he did? Japahi sada Raghunayak Nama. Continuously engage himself in chanting the name of Bhagwan Ram. Then, Jahataha Sunahi Ram Guna Grama. And wherever he went, he spread the name of Bhagwan and told his glories. Chidananda Sukadama Siva Bigata Moha Madakam Bicharahi Mahidhari Hridayadhari Hari Sakala Loka Bhiram. He roamed the whole earth everywhere, chanting the name of Ram and telling of his glories. That is what he did. Then, as he was moving about, one day, Ram appeared to him. Now see this. This is 75, some lines down after 75. Ram came to him. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. Pragate Ram Kritajna Kripala Rup Sila Nidhi Teja Visala. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. 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 Bahu prakar sankar isara. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. Tum binu asbratu ko nirbaha. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. Bahu bedi Ram Sivahi samujhava. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. Parvati kar janam sunava. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. 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 Syavar Ramachandra ki jai. Pragate Ram Kritagna Kripala. That most benevolent Bhagwan Ram appeared before Lord Shiva as he was roaming this whole earth. Rupa Sila Nidhi Teja Visala. Bahuprakara Sankara Hisaraha. And he praised Lord Shiva profusely. Tumabinu Asab Vrata Ko Nirabaha. Who can take such vrata like you and follow through with it? People take vrat all the time, but who follows through? Then, Bahuvidhi Rama Sivahi Samujhava Parvati Kara Janma Sunava. He told. He started. Bhagwan introduced Bhagwan Ram. What is? You know, Sati is born. Really? Yes. She's born there as Parvati. Oh. Atipunita Giraj Kai Karani Vistar Sahita Kripanidhi Bharani. Bhagavan Ram told all the tapas which she had done and everything there. Abba Benati Mama Sunahu Siva. Prabhu, oh Shiva, oh Lord Shiva, Bhagavan Ram is asking now. Please listen to my request. Jao mo para nija neha. If you have love for me, which Lord Shiva has, Bhagavan Ram is his Ishta Devata. Ishta Devata, everybody should have. All of these words I am going over, thinking that everybody know. Ishta Devata means there are so many various forms of God. So many forms are there. Of the same Lord. So, we must have some special form which we love. Each person is a great, great, great support in our spiritual journey. One who doesn't have is supportless. Supportless person will not reach very far. It's like when you're walking up a mountain, you need a stick. You go to all the mountain pilgrimages, Kedarnath, Badrinath, Idyadi, Badrinath flat, Kedarnath, Vaishnav Devi. You go to these places and you'll see all the people who are walking, they will have a stick. You're not just going to an ice cream shop. Ice cream shop, you don't need any stick. So when we go, so on this path, the Ishta Devata is one that form of God which I adore. And it is the form of the same Lord. All forms of the same Lord. That is like, in Europe they eat bread. Right? In America, they eat also bread. But in this country, doubles and roti. Doubles and sada roti. Trinidad is the most wonderful place. We just take happy flour and make sada roti. Anyway, so now bread and doubles and roti and everything made from the same flour, isn't it? But you give some people bread. I remember in our time, bread is not food. If you eat bread, there's some kind of side snack or something. That's not food, Food, you have to get some real roti or something, isn't it? But it's the same flour. But you like it in that form. You like it in the form of flour. That person like it in the form of roti. Bread, roti. That person like it in the form of... And a different type of bread. He wants French bread. Sourdough. All kind of different, you see? So, the same flour in various forms, the people will like that in various forms. Everybody have their own likes. The same Lord in various forms, people like the same Lord only. Ishvara, who is himself Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. And then Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, they have all taken different avatars. Hanumanji is avatar of Lord Shiva. Bhagavan Ram is avatar of Bhagavan Vishnu. And all three of them are Ishvara only. One Lord in various forms. But we need that Ishta Devata. Bhagavan Rama's Ishta Devata is Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva's Ishta Devata is Bhagavan Ram. He has an Ishta Devata and we don't have. Suddenly we become bigger than Bhagavan also. We don't have. And you don't have to go anywhere to get a Ishta Devata and all that kind of thing. You just look at all the forms and see which one you like, which one you're attracted to. That is all. So Bhagavan Ram is telling to Lord Shiva, if you have love for me, then Jai Bibahahu Saila Jahi yaha mohi mange dehu. Bhagavan begs from Lord Shiva, if you have love for me, you go there and marry that Parvati. And there is no greater renunciate than Lord Shiva, He renounces everything. Well, Ram has come now, kaha Shiva. Lord Shiva replies, kaha Shiva, jadapi uchit asa nahi, nath vachan puni meti na jahi. Lord Shiva gives a diplomatic reply. Even though I don't think that is the right thing. But where I go say, it have place in Kailash, let she come. That kind of, it have some place here. Where I go say. In other words, where I go say, in Trini language, it's the best thing actually, we are talking to Trini, so you better talk in Trini language only. Where I go say. You ask, Bhagavan Ram asked, what Lord Shiva will say? Nath bachana puni meti na jaye. Your word cannot be ignored, or your word cannot be left. When Bhagavan Ram asked. This is a very interesting thing. This, and all of these things which are going on in the Ramayana, you please do not ever think any of them is far-fetched or, this goes on every single day. That is why sometimes, you see, you want something. I give you this story now, when we wanted the fire system from here. You want something from over there, and that place, and you know this one who know them. Isn't it? So you don't go directly, you tell this one, you go. When you want any donation for religious organization, you go anywhere, don't go by the husband, go by the wife. I'm telling from experience only. Wives are very compassionate and kind-hearted and all. Husband is first suspect that fella. Anyway, that is also left to debate. But here, who is requesting makes a big difference. Who is making the request? It's a very important thing to remember. Who is making the request? Sirdhari ayasu kariya tumhara parama dharma yah nath hamara. Bhagavan Shiva promises, it is my supreme dharma to fulfill your words. If you say, then I am going to. Now see how this whole thing is working. Brahmaji she did the tapas. So, jo jasa karai so tasa phalu chakha. As we sow, so we reap. So she did the tapas, so the result has to come. Please pay attention to this. I want to tell you a little bit. You have to be careful with all of these. Karma pradhan beswa kari rakha. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. Karma pradhan beswa kari rakha. Shri Ram Jaya जस करई सो तस फलु चाखा. श्री राम जय जय राम. कर्म प्रधान विश्व करी राखा. श्री राम जय जय राम. जो जस करई सो तस फलु चाखा. श्री राम जय जय राम. जय रघुराम. जय रघुराम. जय सीताराम. Chandra ki
Jai.
jai. Karma pradhan, karma preponderates in the world. As we sow, so we reap. Now see, I want you to see the dynamics of how it works. Okay. To go down a little bit deeper into it, see the nitty-gritty of karma. So, Parvati ji has done the tapas. Ghor tapas. The karma is done. That means the result must come. Correct? That's how karma works. It is infallible. The result must come. But nowhere in any verse, in any scripture, anywhere has given a time frame for that truism. You do the karma, the scriptures only say the result will. The scripture never says when, how, where, and all such things. And especially when. Time frame is not given. So Parvati ji has done the karma now, tapas, to get to marry Lord Shiva. That is going on in Treta Yuga. She could get to marry Lord Shiva in Kali Yuga, because no time is given. And this is where the intercession has to come. This is why now Brahmaji is involved, Bhagwan Ram is involved, the Devatas will be involved just now. They intercede there to bring about a result that would have ordinarily been way ahead, to bring about a result now. Otherwise, intercession also is not required if a time frame is given. So first Brahmaji tells. Now when Brahmaji has told, now Bhagwan Ram has to see that Brahmaji's word doesn't go false. So Bhagwan Ram comes to ask him now. You please marry this Parvati ji. Lord Shiva says, yes. Then, Tabahi, Lord Shiva said, yes. Then he called the Saptarishis. This is just before 77. He called the Saptarishis and he said, this Parvati ji wants to marry me. You all go there and give her some. Bole, Prabhu, Ati bachana suhaye, Saptarishi, Shiva pahi aaye, Parvati pahi jai tuma, prema pariksha lehu. This is number 77. See that. Just before 77 and 7. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram,
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram,
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram,
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
तब ही सप्तर्षि शिव पही आए, बोले प्रभु अति बचन सुहाए.
Shri Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Jai Ram.
पार्वती पही जाई तुम, प्रेम परीक्षा ले. दिन गिरही पेर पठेहु भवन, दूर करेहु संदेहु. सियावर रामचंद्र की जय शरण सीताराम, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय शरण सीताराम, सियावर
रामचंद्र की जय शरण सीताराम.
Parvati pahi jai tuma. Oh Saptarishis, Lord Shiva sent. Prema pariksha lehu. You go there and test her to see if really she loves me or not. Girihi preri patehu bhavana. Duri karehu sandeha. And you all remove her fears and all that. There's two things he told. Well, they went there. Saptarishis went where Parvati was there. Rishina gauri dekhi taha kaisi. Murati manta tapasya jaisi. They saw her and it's the very embodiment of tapasya. Tapas. Bole muni sunu saila kumari. Karau kavana karana tapu hari. Why are you doing that? They went and saw, no, why are you doing this ghor tapas? They asked. Kehi avaradhahu kathumachahu. What do you want? What are you doing? And then when she shyly told and all, they told, you are doing this tapas following Narad, of all the people in this world. You're following Narad. He told to go and do tapas and you're doing. And you want to marry this Lord Shiva, who is Nanga Baba. He naked her clothes. He's very ashes. He has snake all over his body. Some women, when they see snake, when they see a frog, what to talk about snake? And if you see a snake running a frog, well, they told all these type of things. He has no place to live. He stays in his Smashan Ghat, in his cremation site. He stays at this place, that place. He stays everywhere. And this cold Kailash, he stays there. They told everything. First of all, Narad, you following, then you want to marry this one. In the end, she said, Sunata bachana bihase shayaha. Next one. She herself tells, now this is after 79, few lines down. After all the things that they told, long, many lines that I have to turn the page also. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
नारद बचन न मैं परिहरऊ बसऊ भवन उरजऊ नहीं डरऊ.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
गुर के बचन प्रतीति न जेहि सपने हु सुगम न सुख सिद्धि तेहि.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Syavar Ramachandra ki jai. Narad Bachan na mai pariharahu. Very adamantly she tells, I will not leave the directions of Narad. And she tells of this, and why I choose some of these verses, because the verses lay down the rules for our life as a jiva, a sadhak, a spiritual aspirant. These are the rules we have to follow. She tells, Guru ke bachan, this is the praman in Ramayana where the guru of Parvati ji is Narad. I will not leave the word of Narad. Basau bhavana ujarau nahi darau. Guru ke bachana pratiti na jehi sapanehu sugamana sukha siddhi tehi. That the person who drops the Guru's words, who relinquishes the Guru's words, in dream also that person cannot have happiness in life. In his dream too. What to talk on real? One fella get up in the morning and he crying, little boy. The father asked what happened. He said, I just dreamed I had a maths test and I failed. He had a mathematics test and he failed. The father said, boy, in dream too you can't pass? Even dream you can't pass, in real you will pass. Because dream anything can happen. The impossible could happen. So anyway, Parvati ji tells like this to Saptarishis. Then Saptarishis realize that her mind is fixed 100%. Nishchit roop se, decisive, decidedly, and nothing is going to change her mind. Then they praised her. Now they revealed themselves and they said, we are so and so, and you are Jagat Janani, the mother of the whole universe. Tuma Maya Bhagavan Shiva, Sakala Jagat Pitu Matu. How nice in number 71. माया भगवान शिवा सकल जगत पितु मातु राम सकल जगत पितु मातु नाई चरण सिर मुनि चले पुनि पुनि हर्षत गातु सिया वर रामचंद्र की जय शरणम पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय सियावर रामचंद्र की जय शरणम. Not 71, 81. Number 81 this is. Now so we have crossed into 80s. Today is 80s, isn't it? We get a little kickback from, because it's a very involved katha. Tuma Maya Bhagavan Shiva Sakal Jagata Pitu Matu. You are Maya. They tell to Jagadamba, Ambika Bhavani, you are Maya. And Lord Shiva is the father of the whole universe. Nai Charana Sirap Muni Chale Puni Puni Harashata Gata. The Muni is prostrating to Parvati. Just now they came to test her. Now they prostrated and they Saptarishis, the 7 rishis. Now, that is one story. Tulsidaji says, this is one story. They went back to report to Lord Shiva. Bhaye Magana Shiva Sunata Saneha. They told the news and Lord Shiva was very happy and everything. That her mind is fixed on marrying you only. She wants nothing else in this world. Okay, theek hai. Tulsidaji says, उस कथा को छोड़िए थोड़ी देर के लिए. Leave this katha. Now next katha. What is next katha? Now see this after a few verses. This is before 82, between 81 and 82, middle there. I have to tell something else now. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Taraku asura bhaya utteki kala.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
तुझ प्रताप बल तेज विशाला।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
तेई सब लोक लोकपति जीते।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
भये देव सुख संपत्ति रीते।
श्री राम जय जय राम।
अजर अमर सो जीति न जाई।
श्री राम जय जय राम।
हारे सुर खरी विविध ललाई।
श्री राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय जय राम।
तब बिरंचि सन जाई पुकारे।
श्री राम जय जय राम।
देखे विधि सब देव दुखारे।
श्री राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय जय राम।
सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। तारकासुर, नई कहानी, नाइस न्यू स्टोरी नो। तारकासुर भयउ तेहि काला. That time one Tarakasur was there. Then Bhuja Pratap Bal Tej Visala, mighty and powerful this Tarakasur. तेई सब लोक लोकपति जीते, भये देव सुख संपत्ति रीते. He beat out all the devatas and beat out everybody and take away all their throne and all their wealth and everything. Tarakasur. He became Lokapati, master of the world. Ajar Amar so jiti na jai, hare sur kari vividha larai. Many times they tried to remove him, but he demolished all devatas and everybody. Then, Tavabiranchi, when jivas are like this only. When we try all our own, what do you say? We try allopathy, we try homeopathy, we try all the different type of pati, When there's no pati, then we try Pashupati, Bhagwan. Huh? So, they tried everything, nothing worked, so now they went to Brahmaji. Who? Devatas. Tababiranchi sana jai pukare, dekhe vidhi sab deva dukhare. Brahmaji realized all of their, how much sorrow they were having, these devatas. Sabasana kaha bujai vidhi, danuja nidhan tab hoi, sambhu sukra sambhuta suta. Ehi jitai rana soi. Brahmaji told, this Tarakasur can only die if Lord Shiva has a son. He can die by that son only. No, this Lord Shiva not interested in marriage. What to talk about son? And luckily, since all of these things are going on at the same time, and all the weight now to fulfill, to bring karma phala to Parvati ji's tapas, and to protect all the gods, all the devatas. Because Bhagwan Ram, now you see why Bhagwan Ram came into the picture also, additionally. One more reason. Bhagwan Ram is protector of the Devatas. But Tarakasura has a boon. He'll not be killed by anybody except a son of Lord Shiva. And he knows this Lord Shiva not interested in son. So, Brahmaji told, only when Lord Shiva has a son, then only that son will be able. And this son, all of us know, is Kartikeya, Muruga. So this is what is happening here now. The Brahmaji and all the Devatas realize. Patao kam! Now they come up with a plan. Oh, Bapre. Terrific plan. Bhagwan Shiva is there in meditation. When the what you call, Saptarishis came back and told him, Parvati ji really, she will marry you. She wants to marry you and nobody else. She wants nothing else in her life. Bhagwan Shiva heard that and he went into meditation. And when he goes into meditation, yesterday we saw 87,000 years or something, you know. So when he heard that, he went into dhyan. Meditation. फिर क्या करना? Brahmaji told the Devatas, Indra ityadi, you all go, right? And tell Kamadeva. Kamadeva is Cupid. Cupid. By no stroke of imagination, stupid. Cupid. His name, he should be Cupid. Cute is the most handsome being in the world after Bhagwan. So they go on now and they tell Kamadeva, look, that Lord Shiva is there in dhyan, meditation. We want him to come out. He already promised to marry the Parvati, but no timeline was given. Yes, I will marry. He also said, yes, I will marry, and he went into dhyan. This is why, in modern legal documentation and all conveyances and all such things, timeline is always given because, yes, I will marry. When? Next 87,000 years. No timeline is there. So, they told that Kamadeva, now you go there and you take your arrow and shoot him in his heart and he'll come out of that meditation. Kamadeva said, boy, in Trinidad, all you want me to dead. Kamadeva knew that if he goes there and he troubles Lord Shiva in meditation, for him, Ram Nam, Satya. He knew, Actually, he goes there now and see the rationale. And this is one of the rare places you will see this thing in scriptures like this. Even if it means giving up one's life in the service of others, that is called paramadharma. When the monkeys reached on the southern shores looking for Sitaji, that time Sampati was there, the vulture, and he's seeing that they have reached here. Forward is ocean, no water to drink, no food, and backward is forest. And they're already exhausted, they're already ready to drop, all of them. So fatigued, exhausted. And Sampati already started licking his tongue. Vulture will eat, he's waiting for them to just die. And I don't think birds have tongue, but licking his beak. No, everybody liquid now. Wrong expression for the bird. He started salivating. So, that time, the youngest of all of them blurted out. Angad blurted out. Praises to Jatayu, who gave his life in the service of Bhagwan. He gave his life in the service of Bhagwan. When Sampati heard that, he stopped. Otherwise, they were ready to be devoured, Sampati now wants to hear Jatayu is his brother. This Geed. Jatayu, no? Geed. So, that time he blurts out, he gave his, and this is held to be the highest honor, to give one's life in the service of others, to give one's life in the service. Paropakar it is called. So now here Kamadeva number 83. See that. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Suran kai nij vipati saba, suni man कीन विचार, शंभु विरोध न कुशल मोहि, बिहसि कहे असमार सियावर.
रामचंद्र की जय शरणम सीताराम.
तदपि करब में काज तुम्हारा, श्रुति कहा परम धर्म उपकारा.
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम.
परहित लागित जय जो देई, संतत संत प्रशंसइतेई.
श्री राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम.
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम.
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम.
Suranha kahi nija vipati sab. The devatas explain to this Kamadeva their situation. Suni manaki na vichar, and Kamadeva thought about it. This is what I was telling you. Sambhu virodana kusala mohi. Going and troubling Shambhu, Lord Shiva, is not going to lead to any good to me at all. Bihasi kahu asamar, but he smiled, because now he falls back on the scriptures. Tadapi karab mein kaaju tumhara, but yet I will do your work for all the devatas. Kamadeva said, Shruti kaha parama dharma upakara. The Shruti says that giving one's life for the benefit of others is the parama dharma, supreme dharma. It is this same principle which is invoked in the Bhagavad Gita when Bhagavan Shri Krishna tells Arjuna to fight. You are fighting not for yourself, you are fighting for the welfare and benefit of others. He evokes this also. Swadharma vichaveksha navikampitum arhasi. You see from the point of view of what dharma you have, what you have to do. That is to serve the society. All the varna ashrama is meant actually to serve society. Parahitalagi tajai jo dehi, who gives up his body in the service of others. Santata santa prasamsahi tehi. Saints and sages and the scriptures always praise that person. He leaves, and listen to his words. Siva Virod Dhruva Maranu Hamara. Going there to shoot this arrow at Lord Shiva and bring him out of his meditation is certainly going to lead to my death. But he goes. It's a very powerful part of Ramayana. He goes because he's going to serve others and not just serve any little purpose. Here is a Rakshasa, Tarakasur, who has brought trouble to the whole world. And there is no other way to remove him than for Lord Shiva to have a son. And so he's not only serving the devatas, he's going to serve the welfare of all of humanity. And for one to give one's life for that, there are no greater blessings. All these are most powerful principles which are there in the Ramcharitmanas. Now, Kamadeva goes, and Tulsidas goes into a long description. He goes there where Lord Shiva was there, and he spreads his influence there. It is said that his influence was so powerful that lust took over every living creature, not only living, animate and inanimate creature also. Lust took over every creature when Kamadeva went there, and Lord Shiva did not shake from that position. And finally, he took his arrow and he shot in the heart of Lord Shiva. And that brought him out. And when he came out of that meditation in deep growth, he opened that third eye because he saw Kamadeva ruffling in some leaves there. He opened that third eye and he burned him to ashes. From that day, Kamadeva called Ananga. Ananga name he was given. Ananga means without body, became bodiless. And his wife came there, Rati Devi. Pitiably she cried and asked, how can you just like that incinerate my husband? Look at my condition now. And Lord Shiva, he told, don't worry, in the next birth, next avatar, he will be born as the son of Lord Krishna himself, Pradyumna. That same Kamadeva was born as Pradyumna in the next yoga. All this thing transpired. But anyway, Lord Shiva came out from there now. And all the devatas and all, they all came. And they said, look, before you go back into meditation, before he goes back into meditation, we better arrange all this marriage and all these things fast. So all the devatas got together. They went there quickly, met Himavan. Now they all became, devatas also now have to go and see about marriage and things. I don't know what they call all the different people who go there. One takes message there and brings back here, and they get everything done. Now this is what is going on in this Balkand. Shiva, Parvati, Vivaha. Now, if you read Balkand like this, you will say, but wait now. We singing Ram Katha. And there's Rama, Sita, Vivaha, which will come. The marriage of Rama and Sita, which will come after. But here, there's marriage of Shiva and Parvati, and it's a big thing. Look, we don't reach 80 Doha, 80 by 10, 800, let's say 700 verses already. And still Shiva get married yet. So this is Shiva Katha or Ram Katha? That question arises, you see. But see how Tulsidas ji has laid out this Ramayana in such a way that Lord Shiva and Parvati have to get married first before Rama and Sita. And this question arises in a sadhaka's mind. Why Tulsidas ji has to do this thing? Why it has to be presented like this? And that is because it has to follow the natural order in which a jiva evolves. The natural order in which a jiva evolves. Now we'll see this. Now, Shiva Parvati Vivaha, long thing will come there now. We'll see that, but let me tell you this. Every night at the end there, I stop and I try to connect things so that you can see what is happening. The marriage of Sitaji and Ram, Prabhu Ram, there is really the merging of the jiva with Ishvara. The jiva, the individual jiva, he has to merge with Ishvara. That is the symbolism of that marriage. But before that can happen, before the jiva could merge with Ishvara, see, that's why Shiva Parvati Vivaha has to be there. And the Shiva Parvati Vivaha is really the jiva has to bring about an integration in his personality. If the jiva does not bring about an integration in his personality, that jiva cannot merge with Ishvara. So the marriage of Shiva Parvati is the integration of the jiva's own personality. That is why Tulsi Daji puts both of them together in one verse. Bhavani Shankarau Vande Shraddha Vishwasa Rupinau Yabhyam Vina Napashyanti Siddha Svantastamishwaram. See now, now we go back to that first day when we saw this Mangalacharan. Tulsidaji writes there, without this Shraddha and Vishwas, without Shraddha Vishwas, means faith and belief. Without that, Siddhaha, the great sages and saints, can never see their true self. Yabhyam vina napashyanti siddha swa antastham Ishwaram. The Ishvara who is one with me, I cannot merge with that Ishvara unless I bring about a oneness between Shraddha and Vishwas, which is really the integration of the human personality. What is the meaning of integration of the human personality? The integration of the human personality is a very simple thing. You please see. Our life is totally disintegrated mind, means mind is totally disintegrated because we have, see, Mana, Chitta, Buddhi, Ahankar, the four parts of the Antakarana, right? We have them going in all directions, most of the time clashing with each other and not jiving. I'll just give you a simple example. Look here. Gurudev used to give so many examples of these things. I know that getting up early, I've read, I've heard, and satsang everywhere. Oh, what getting up early? I know that going to satsang is good. Right? I know that going to satsang is good. I know it is very important that I find myself in satsang every day. I hear it all the time. But then what happens? In the back of my mind, there is a knowledge of a fact or truth. I know satsang is good. But on the outside now, in the foreground of the mind, background of the mind, one truth, foreground, some other desire, some other thing comes up, this thing, and that takes. So what happens? My actions, I follow these worldly things, and in the back there is a truth, which says, I should be in satsang, you know, boy. So my action is not matching with my knowledge. The two things are not matching. This is the biggest problem of disintegration in a person's mind, in a jiva's mind. The biggest problem is our actions do not match our knowledge. We know. That is why we say, we know what is true, what is the correct thing. They're like Duryodhan. All of us have become Duryodhan. Duryodhan is telling, Janami dharma nachame pravrittihi. I know what is dharma, but I cannot follow this dharma. Janamya dharma. I know what is adharma, but nachame nivritti. I cannot leave this adharma. This is Duryodhan telling. So when the jiva is like that is why the Duryodhan now, the same Duryodhan, causes so much trouble, but that whole thing could have been avoided. That's why this earth has so much of trouble. Because the jivas in the earth, they're like, the jivas are disintegrated. Right? I know what is right, but I cannot follow what is right. So there is a bifurcation between my knowledge and my action. ambivalence. But this is the correct thing, I should be doing this, but I am doing that. And this goes in all departments of life. And this is the correct thing to eat. What you should do? Drink lauki juice. That's the correct thing to do. What you doing? You're drinking Coke. You see? This is called disintegration in the personality, or non-integration of the personality, where my actions meet my truth. That thing is symbolized in Shiva Parvati. Now see, Bhagavan Shiva is telling, my dear Parvati and my dear Sati, this is not the proper thing. You were not invited there. You should not go there. I don't think that is correct thing. So this truism, this truth which Lord Shiva is telling now, this is not being matched on the other side. You see? So there is a split. They are called Shraddha and Vishwas, but this is the bigger picture which is going on here. There is a split between the two. They don't jive. They don't match. So she has to now go and do all of that tapas, and it's the tapas which brings the integration in the personality. So all of this thing has to be done now. The two of them get married, which is symbolic of the integration of the human personality. Siddha Swantastamishwaram. Then the Jiva becomes Siddha. He sees that Ishvara which is inside. The Jiva sees the Ishvara which is inside, and he knows, I am one with that Ishvara. The Jiva and the Ishvara, they merge. And that is why Shiva, Ram, Sita, Vivaha will come after. Or ye? Shiva, Parvati, Vivaha, pehle. The integration of the person. This is the symbolism which is going on there. Very profound philosophical teaching of Upanishads in the story, inside the whole story. Okay. Now, Shiva's marriage. So, all you could come and patch some lava tomorrow. We'll see. Maybe there's some other little things. I didn't go through that portion yet to see if there are other important things we still have to tell before the marriage takes place. Okay, let me just tell a few things, and then tomorrow satsang we'll have here also. We told that there are many temples where they are scared to have the satsang because people are scared of COVID and all that kind of thing. I want to tell one more truth about COVID. My feeling is before, well, not truth, but my feeling. My feeling is before this thing over, all are we going to get COVID. In mild form, and just like everybody get a common cold and all that kind of thing. You jump high or jump low. Many of us may have gotten it already and don't know. Because there are many people who don't have any symptoms. Yesterday only somebody told me 2-3 people tested and they're positive and no symptoms. So something which is, they're sweeping the whole world and all. Take your precautions, but don't be scared. But why I'm telling all of you, don't be scared. People are overly scared. And because of the fear, Yamraj passed one day and he carried in 5 people. He carried in 5 people with him. So Chitragupta said, what? You take 5 today, boy? You take 5? Yamraj said, no, I only take 1. The other 4 dead from fear. So actually, this fear is really another form of death. Abhayam sattva samshuddhi. Jnana yoga vyavastitihi. Bhagavan tells in Bhagavad Gita, you go, and go with it. If you will have to get it, you will have to get it. Yesterday somebody was explaining to me, in the hospital, everything was taken care of properly, still they get COVID. So you don't know if you get it in the hospital or get it in the ambulance or where, but they get it. All right. So some of the temples like that have cancelled because of the fear of COVID. And so whenever there is a cancellation, we are having it right here in the ashram. I think of the 108, there might be 20 or something, I don't know, whatever number, right? We'll have it here. Okay, today the chanting was done by Renuka and her dad. Thank you so much for coming and chanting. Wherever we go into respective temples and all, people are chanting nicely. Last night, one of the boys from Hindu Students' Council chanted. Like that, people get an opportunity to chant in their own place. All right. So, Veer and Vihan are celebrating their birthday, and the Ram Sevak family is sponsored tonight's satsang and food for everybody and all of that sort of thing. We want to say a special happy birthday to Veer and Vihan, and wish the Ram Sevak family all the best in this coming year. Okay, I think those are the, we will have the token. Basho is here? Nahi hai? Urvashi Ram Sevak will receive this token from our side. The whole Ramayana. There you go. Enjoy. Hari. I see a very wonderful title in front of me here. If you don't have one of this book at home, please get one and get one for your friend also. It's a most wonderful reading. It's one of the best books you will read. In fact, this was the first book I read. Tremendous presentation by Puja Gurudev. Kindle life. Ishvara Darshan, life of our Param Guru, Swami Tapovanji Maharaj. You'll see what real tapas is and all of that. So please see, and a lot of children's titles are also there. Up, up, and away Hanuman. Hanuman like Superman. Okay. आरती के लिए सब खड़े हो जाइए. आरती श्री रामायण जी की, कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की.
आरती श्री रामायण जी की, कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की.
आरती श्री रामायण जी की, कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की.
आरती श्री रामायण जी की, कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की.
गावत ब्रह्मादिक मुनि नारद, वाल्मीकि विज्ञान विशारद, सुख सनकादि शेष अरु सारद, बरनी पवन सुत कीरति नीति.
आरती श्री रामायण जी की, कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की. आरती श्री रामायण जी की, कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की.
गावत वेद पुराण अष्टदश, छो शास्त्र सब ग्रंथन को रस. मुनिजन धन संतन को सर्वस, सार अंश सम्मत सब ही.
आरती श्री रामायण जी की, कीरति कलित ललित
शंभु भवानी अरुघत संभव मुनि विज्ञानी व्यास आदि कवि बर्ज बखानी कागभूषुंडि करुण के
भारती श्री रामायण जी की कीर्ति कलि कल विकसिय भीगी भारती श्री रामायण जी की कीर्ति कलि कल विकसिय भीगी
कलिमल हरनि विषय रस भीगी सुभग सिंगार मुक्ति जुबती दलन रोग भव मूरियमीगी दात मात सब विधि तुलसी
आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीर्ति कलि कल विकसिय भीगी आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीर्ति कलि कल विकसिय भीगी
श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम
मंगलम भगवान विष्णु मंगलम गरुड़ध्वज मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्षं मंगलायतनो हरि त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम। बोलो सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। नमः पार्वती पते हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम तत्सत। Please have something on your way out and see you.
This is 101.7 FM live from the Chinmaya ashram as they conclude the 9th night of 108 nights of Ramayana Katha. And we'd like to say a special thank you to all our corporate sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Republic Bank Limited, Extra Foods, Buru's Funeral Home of Southern Main Road, Kunupia, Lakshmi Jewelers of number 52A High Street, San Fernando, Samlal Singh's Business Center of number 185 Union Road, Marbella, and Sylvie's Roti Shop. We'd like to say a special thanks to all our corporate sponsors for making this broadcast possible on 101.7 FM. And we'd like to thank all of you, all listeners, and all viewers for having joined with us. We invite you to join us tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. for a delayed start to tomorrow night's broadcast, which will also be coming from the Chinmaya ashram. And tomorrow it is expected that the group will be chanting from Doha 91 onwards. This is Andy Sergio saying thank you and returning you to Master